talking major worldwide news based on the word of one mysterious man.
What was I supposed to do? Roone said to get out there. He's the boss.
You pulled the trigger, not Roone.
Oh, come on, Marv. They're airing it on ZDF. That's German state television.
And this is ABC. Jeff.
And 3, 2.
Take one.
Did you hear that?
Were those gunshots?
In September 5, we tell the true story of the tragic events of that day in '72 in Munich, told from a very specific perspective.
We're the only station going live with this.
Your sports, you're in way over your head.
Tim made it very clear in our first conversations that he wanted this to feel as authentic and as honest as possible, and he really gave us the stage to play it that way. Cam went tight on Jim.
Right on, mate.
2 on preview. Tower cam, stay wide on building 31.
Got it.
A clear point of view is what's going to invest in audience, and that's a tribute to Tim.
Everything takes place in that room. I wanted to have this claustrophobic feeling.
Cam 6.
And shoot it as if we ourselves would be a documentary crew or a broadcast team in that room, observing those people, observing the monitors.
That's a TV. So are they seeing what we're seeing?
What are you talking about?
Are the terrorists seeing this?
Keeping us in that tiny room and the crankiness that sometimes crept up was useful because that's very much what they must have been going through.
Shut up, please! Shut up!
Tim is really, really compulsive about detail, and he wanted everything to be pretty much as it was.
The games of the 20th Olympiad have now been officially suspended.
There's documentary footage that was cut into the movie and real working equipment, so it has the feeling of 1972.
The amount of work and research that he'd done, you felt in very safe hands. If they shoot someone on live television, whose story is that?
In a time where everyone has a camera and a TV in their pocket and that we can live stream a lot of things at any time, I think it is interesting to take a step back and see on how, for the first time, a tragic event like this was on live television.
Follow the story as it unfolds in real time.
Action on my cue, and now. Take 2. Take 1.
And we're clear.
Great job, everyone.
This movie investigates the 1972 Olympic hostage crisis and the sports reporters who covered it.
The police are reporting that armed terrorists have attacked the Israeli athletes.
Get the crew in.
This was the first time that a horrible event like this was shared globally on live TV. There's a hostage situation going on right now in the Olympic Village.
News will want to take over soon.
I'll talk to them.
This team of people that were used to report on sports was suddenly reporting on a crisis situation.
We just got word. Peace was shattered this morning.
These sports reporters all pivot and turn these live cameras onto this potentially violent situation, not quite knowing what they were doing.
ABC wants news to take over.
Your sports, you're in way over your head.
We're 100 yards away from where this is happening. We are the only people capable of following it live.
This is our story, and we're keeping it.
The fundamental question in this room is, can we cover it live? And does that coverage affect the real world outcome?
There are no police on the roof.
Oh, guys.
That's a TV. Are they seeing what we're seeing?
What are you talking about?
Are the terrorists seeing this?
This film's really concentrated on the journalist's perspective. They were in a situation where they had to improvise and work as a single unit.
Our job is to tell the story of these individuals whose lives are at stake.
Ordinary people having to make difficult decisions. There's something very human about that.
It's not okay if we made it worse.
The film is a thriller. There's never really a moment to breathe.
The terrorists have set a deadline.
They are always against a ticking clock.
We have to go now to keep people on the edge of their seats.
Tell me what happened.
It's a madhouse down here.
If they shoot someone on live television, whose story is that? Is it ours or is it theirs?
We wanted to have a very unique casting. The cast is extraordinary.
Really, one of the main things that attracted me to doing the film was the opportunity to be in a genuine ensemble.
We had an amazing cast to play it as authentic and as honest as possible.
Whenever Tim said action, There was an electricity in the room, and I felt like I got to learn something from everyone.
We're making broadcast history. More people have seen this and watched Armstrong land on the moon.
We have Roone, Arledge, played by Peter Sarsgaard, the head of ABC Sports.
Peter is curious, and he really pushes each actor to rise to the next level. What do I tell the cameras?
What do you mean?
I mean, can we show someone being shot on live television?
John Magaro plays Geoffrey Mason, who was just the kid who was on the night desk when the shots were fired and the decisions started having to be made.
John captured that energy that Geoffrey Mason had.
The real life Geoffrey Mason was wonderful in getting me access to sports broadcast rooms, and I really learned what it takes to operate a live broadcast.
If they shoot someone on live television, whose story is that?
Marvin Binder was a moral compass, portrayed perfectly, I think, by Ben Chaplin.
Ben, he's very detailed, and I think he captured that in his performance. It's just very rich work.
Anything on the hostages yet?
Only mixed information.
Then we have the translator, Marianne Gebhardt, played by Leonie Benesch, and she was always 100% in the moment.
These are just local cops doing things they have never done before.
It's a madhouse down here.
It's a tremendous group of actors. When there's electricity in an ensemble, that collaborative energy, it's just, you know, it's gold.
We're following the story wherever it takes us.
When I read the script, I thought, yeah, this is one we should jump in on.
The script was remarkable. I just like films that try to find new ways to tell the story.
The tragedies at the Munich Olympics, I didn't know that it was covered by a sports news team.
The script for September 5 was such an incredible take on an event that other films have been made about, but this one puts us right inside the room as these sports broadcasters navigate this impossible situation.
ABC headquarters want news to take over.
There are still some mysteries about this day, what happened there.
We wanted to have a new approach to the events that took place 1972 in Munich.
This is our story, and we're keeping it.
Also, we wanted something that speaks to viewers today.
On September 5th, news was changed forever. What do I tell the cameras?
What do you mean?
I mean, can we show someone being shot on live television?
To tell a story that takes place in one location, with the monitors being the windows to the outside world. I found the challenge interesting.
This is where the best set designers make gigantic contributions in terms of how the surroundings affect the actors.
To build a continuous set, it feels like you are inside this world. Whenever you found a door, you could open the door and you went to another set.
Working in this environment created this tension.
Get out of my studio!
Incredible practical set.
And we started to do research about what kind of machines can we find and how can we rebuild such an authentic set. We went from private collectors to museums, storage rooms from old TV broadcasters.
Basically, everything that still exists is now in our studio.
It's remarkable because every single machine worked.
If you flipped the switch, the light went off, and the fax worked.
And headsets that were from the era, and television, and phones.
It just grounds you in reality.
It was really important that our actors would not stare at a wall of blue screens. They had to interact with what's happening.
Take two.
I wanted to make these analog screens one of the key light sources. And it's quite an interesting creative tool to use flicker. As they are watching the masked man, we really increase the flicker to raise your heartbeat.
To combine what we shot together with the original footage led to a lot of material. Editor Hans-Jörg Weisbrich was crucial on shaping the film.
We wanted the film to be high-paced, to allow the audience to be in the situation like our characters.
Piecing that together alone is a challenge. Then piecing that together with all the actual footage from the Olympics is another challenge.
It was remarkable.
We were this creative group making this movie all together.
When there's that collaborative energy, it's just, you know, it's gold.
wusste natürlich, dass es dieses Massaker gab. Ich wusste auch, ich kannte das Bild von dem maskierten Mann auf dem Balkon, aber mir war nicht klar, dass es ein 22-Stunden-Live-Marathon war. Mir war auch nicht klar, dass es in einem München passiert ist, dass eigentlich die Olympischen Spiele, dass das eigentlich der Moment war, der Welt zu zeigen, wie liberal Deutschland jetzt ist und das wie weit weg von Nazi-Deutschland, dass die Security so lax war. Ich wusste nicht, dass das sozusagen eigentlich so ein PR-Event sein sollte, um der Welt neu vorstellig zu werden. Ich wusste nicht, mir war das Ausmaß nicht klar, in dem die deutschen Behörden einfach komplett versagt haben. Mir waren die politischen Umstände tatsächlich nicht so, also gab wirklich das meiste, wusste ich nicht. Also von daher, als ich das Drehbuch gelesen habe, das war mega spannend. Ich fand es auch total krass aber es macht natürlich Sinn, also dass ABC und CBS sich immer um diese Slots prügeln mussten. Finde ich ein absurdes und witziges Detail.
Was ich eben auch nicht wusste, was für ein Wendepunkt in der Mediengeschichte auch dieser Tag war. Und im Zuge dessen hatten wir einen Augenzeugen ausfindig gemacht. Das ist Geoffrey Mason, das ist der Charakter, der von John Magaro gespielt wird. Und der war eben während diesem 22-stündigen Marathon der Berichterstattung live im Kontrollraum bei ABC Sports damals. Und als wir seine Geschichten gehört haben, was er erlebt hat und mit was für Fragen sie konfrontiert wurden, hatten wir zum ersten Mal so die Idee, könnte man nicht den Film rein aus dieser Perspektive erzählen. Und ich fand das sofort eine interessante Herausforderung an mich als Filmemacher sozusagen. Wie erzähle ich eine Geschichte, die eigentlich nur innerhalb einem Raum und einem Kontrollraum stattfindet? Also oder innerhalb eines Studiokomplexes sozusagen, mit den Fenstern als einziges, also mit den Monitoren als einziges Fenster auf die Außenwelt. Wie hält man da die Spannung aufrecht und sozusagen auch diese klaustrophobischen Effekt und wie erzähle ich da einen Film. Und das andere ist, dass ich das Gefühl habe, dass ich als Medienschaffender selber natürlich zu diesem Strang der Geschichte, es gibt natürlich andere Themen von diesem Tag, die vielleicht fast noch wichtiger sind, aber ich zu diesem Thema sehr viel mehr etwas erzählen kann und mich auch berechtigt fühle, etwas darüber zu erzählen, als vielleicht zu anderen Aspekten. Und ich dennoch finde, dass gerade auch aus heutiger Sicht sehr viel relevante Themen da sind, wie wir Medien konsumieren und wie Nachrichten gemacht werden.
So I had the good fortune of talking to Jeff Mason a little bit before we started shooting this. And he's a very sweet, smart man. You know, there's always a challenge when you're playing somebody who existed and also who's still alive, because you want to honor them and you want to tell the story in an honest, authentic way, so as not to do a disservice to their own experience, especially the traumas they went through. You know, he was very helpful, and we talked a lot about it, and I think I came into it with a sensitivity about what they went through, and Tim, also as our director, and Moritz as our writer, we all sort of felt this obligation to these guys, and also the victims of what happened. So yes, there's an added challenge, but I hope that we rose to the occasion as a team and did a service to what they went through.
What the film focuses on is that ABC were there, set up to broadcast the Olympics globally by satellite live. And so as there was there was still some sports going on actually until they were forced to stop, I think, after 12 hours. There was some sort of controversy about that. But they decided to, they became basically news broadcasters. So you had sports networks shooting what we would now recognize as rolling live news coverage. So that's really, it's a sort of inflection point in history. It's sort of accidentally the birth of live coverage of an ongoing event, and that's what the film focuses on. It's as if they did it without truly understanding what they were doing, because they were sports people. I think Roone Arledge had news instincts and ended up being a news broadcaster. He went from sports. But what I suppose is interesting about it is that the technology that sports had, being live, and the advanced cameras they were using, filming techniques, were far ahead of what news was doing at the time. So in a funny way, in a strange way, it became the birth of the news that we watch today. I think it's the first time that live coverage affected real-life events, and that thorny moral issue arose, and I think it did result in some law changes. I spoke to a sports producer in researching this, and he told me that it did lead to broadcasting law changes in how you cover live news.
Als es konkret die Vorbereitung für die Rolle ging, habe ich mich hauptsächlich mit einer Dolmetscherin getroffen, weil ich wissen wollte, also für mich als Spielerin ist es ja dann interessant zu wissen, was kann denn meine Figur gut, also wo ist sie so Herrin der Situation, und das ist natürlich Übersetzen. Das heißt, ich wollte da ja was einfangen, also ich wollte was von dieser Konzentration einfangen, wovon mir diese Dolmetscherin berichtet hat, weil es ist ja schon auch ich bin mir sicher, du warst auch schon mal in diesen Räumen, wo dann simultan übersetzt wird, in so Pressekonferenzen. Das ist total abgefahren. Die hören mit einem Ohr zu und reden aber schon und begeben sich da in so eine Zone, die ich mega spannend finde. Und diese Momente gibt es zwar so nicht ausgedehnt für Marianne im Film, weil es oft so auf Zuruf, übersetz mal schnell, solche Momente sind, aber trotzdem wollte ich dann in diesen Momenten, wenn sie zuhört, was von der Konzentration einfangen, die diese Dolmetscherin berichtet hat. Tim und sein Team haben mir dann eine Schreibmaschine geschickt aus der Zeit, weil ich finde, man sieht sofort, wenn jemand so tippt, weil es natürlich auch ein ganz anderer Muskelaufwand ist in den Fingern als die Tastaturen, die wir heute haben. Also ich habe viel zu Hause rumgetippt, aber das war so. Und dann haben Tim und ich besprochen, dass uns die Idee gefällt, dass ich für einen Table Read und Proben nicht dabei bin, weil wir den Gedanken mochten, dass ich so ein bisschen in diesen Raum reingeworfen werde, wie Marianne in diesen Raum reingeworfen wird, weil ein Control Room ist nicht ihr Home Turf, sondern das ist so ein bisschen Fish out of water, aber lernt schwimmen, so.
Auf eine Art ist es auch ein Film über Technologie, also wie auch der Wendepunkt in der Technologie irgendwie auch beeinflusst, wie wir Dinge konsumieren. Und uns war es wichtig, dass deshalb auch die ganzen technischen Abläufe und wie dieser Fernsehapparat von damals, uns war es wichtig, dem Publikum von heute ein Gefühl für die analoge Fernsehwelt von damals zu geben und wie lange es noch gedauert hat, bis ein Bild sozusagen auf dem Fernseher zu Hause landet. Und dass es damals zum Beispiel auch noch, dass man noch Slots buchen musste auf dem Satelliten. Es gab noch nicht so viele Satelliten im Orbit. Es war zwar die erste Olympiade, die weltweit live übertragen werden konnte, aber man musste noch einen Slot buchen. Und uns war es wichtig, dass man dafür ein Gefühl bekommt zum Beispiel. Und das war in der Vorbereitung, wo man sozusagen, wie wir das Set bauen und so weiter, hat der Produktionsdesigner, also Szenenbildner Julian R. Wagner und sein Team haben eine hervorragende Arbeit geleistet darin, diese ganzen Geräte und so für unseren Dreh zu beschaffen. Das war nicht einfach, zumal sie noch funktionieren sollten, weil es uns ein Anliegen war und wir wollten, dass der Cast vor der Kamera mit diesen Geräten auch interagieren kann. Also das ist auch wenn die einen Knopf drücken oder so, dass dann auch etwas passiert und dass auf den Monitoren tatsächlich Bilder zu sehen sind und nicht einfach nur irgendwelche grüne Felder, die dann im Nachhinein ausgewechselt werden.
The particular challenge of this film is it's all one set. This brilliant set that we have here, which is completely real and authentic and period. But most of the film takes place in the control room, and we've got a good-sized cast and a lot of featured extras who are very sort of well cast. And that's a lot of people in a small room, and it is very, very smoky in there. I don't know how many films I've done, but it's over 30, and that's the smoky, and I've done lots of TV too. That's the smokiest set I've ever been on.
Erster Drehtag war krass, Julian, geil geliefert, Julian Wagner, unser Production Designer, den ich auch schon vorher kannte und sehr mag, sein Team auch, super Team, Shoutout, Art Department. Also es ist einfach der Hammer, weil das so echt ist. Also es klingt so banal, es wurde schon 1000-mal gesagt, aber es ist einfach, wir waren in einem dieser Studios und dann geht man da rein und hat wirklich das Gefühl, man ist in den 70ern. Diese Monitorenwand war einfach komplett funktionstüchtig. Also man hat auch Knöpfe gedrückt und es ist was angegangen. Also diese Maschinen haben alle funktioniert. Diese alten Monster an Schnitttischen haben mich sehr beeindruckt. Diese Museums-Walkie-Talkies, also diese ganzen Maschinen, die alle funktioniert haben, also diese Liebe zum Detail, die hat mich umgehauen. Dann hat mich auch auch umgehauen, der Gestank nach Schweiß und der Rauch in diesem kleinen Raum, weil es waren sehr viele Leute auf sehr kleinem Raum und es war stickig. Und ja, und am Schluss war ich einfach so froh, dass dieses Ding abgedreht war, weil so schön die Zusammenarbeit war und so inspirierend. So froh war man am Ende des Tages auch wirklich dieses Studio zu verlassen. Und ich habe mich gefreut. Aber das ist jetzt nicht nur bei diesem Projekt so. Ich freue mich immer, wenn ein Projekt vorbei ist. Ich liebe es, wenn was zu Ende geht.
We have a really fantastic group of actors here, including Peter and Ben and Leonie, Zinedine, Corey. The list goes on. Everyone is an actor's actor. They're all very, we've seen them do a lot of great work throughout the years. And in this atmosphere where it is such an ensemble and such a team trying to get through this together, it's nice to have people who we can toss ideas off of and who can think on their feet, and we can add things and change things constantly. But it's almost like an athletic team in a way, which is funny because it's about people who are covering sports, but the ball is constantly in the air and everyone's so wonderful and so capable that whenever you hand the ball off to another actor, they're going to run with it. So it's been a lot of great fun.
John Magaro and Peter Sarsgaard have been absolutely great, and that lovely thing of they don't take themselves seriously, but they take themselves seriously enough. And in like this tight set, small set, you kind of need, it really helps if you get along and can have fun. And I've had lots of fun, and it's been great. What's nice about shooting on location is that you get to know the cast a bit better than if everyone's going home at night to their own homes, then you don't get. I've done a couple of jobs in a row where I've been in a hotel with cast and stuff, and it's way better.
Das Interessante natürlich an diesem Film, und deswegen glaube ich, ist es auch so gut ist, dass es natürlich Sportjournalisten waren, die eigentlich vorher Schwimmen und Boxen und Volleyball, dafür war der ganze Apparatus aufgebaut. Den haben die gefilmt und waren da auch wirklich Cutting-Edge-mäßig, Storytelling-mäßig ganz vorne mit dabei. Roone Arledge von Peter Sarsgaard gespielt, war dafür berühmt, dass er die Geschichten hinter den Gewinnern und Verlierern erzählt hat. Und er hat das Rezept dann angewendet und auf eine sich entfaltende Tragödie angewendet. Und natürlich funktioniert das. Und das machen wir natürlich was heißt natürlich, das machen wir bis heute so. Und die Frage ist so ein bisschen, inwieweit ist das der Diskussion zuträglich? Einerseits. Andererseits ist auch viel Positives natürlich, also es ist auch eine unglaubliche Macht, dass wir, wenn etwas passiert, unser Handy rausholen können und das filmen und das dokumentieren. Das ist ja auch, also wie viele Bewegungen davon zehren, die wirklich wichtig sind und richtig. Das ist ein zweischneidiges Schwert.
Are they seeing what we're seeing?
What are you talking about?
Are the terrorists seeing this?
Our job is to tell the stories of these individuals whose lives are at stake.
It's not okay if we made it worse.
It's a madhouse down here.
They know the whole world is watching. If they shoot someone on live television, whose story is that? Is it ours or is it theirs?